So her car got
do
stuck.
Listen sometimes.
Like sometimes. when it concerns you.
Well, this doesn't concern me at all.
Well,
hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the first SaVeg Podcast episode of 2023.
God damn.
Oh my God, I literally almost said 2022. What's that? Why are you making a weird...
Well, no, because I was thinking it was 2022 as well, and I'm like, I'm not used to it being 2023 yet.
I know. I mean, it's only the, third day of 2023?
True. So we'll just, by tomorrow, I'll be ready. I'll be used to it tomorrow.
You'll be used to it tomorrow?
Yeah.
God damn, Daniel, how you feeling for the new year?
Well,
do you feel all, motivated? Or are you how are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. I'll tell you a little embarrassing story.
Oh, you have an embarrassing story.
Yes. Well, it's not that embarrassing. We
love an embarrassing
listeners
story.
on the podcast might judge me, and actually you're going to judge me for this.
I mean, I judge you anyway.
This is true. So towards the end of the last year, in December, I was like, you know what? I think I've been ordering takeout too much. Way too much panic.
I think we talked about this in one of the episodes.
We did, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we
too much Panagar. So I decided to do a rough estimate of how much Panago I ordered last year. And what do you mean a rough estimate? Doesn't it show on the app?
It does, yeah. So I basically
you can see.
I kind of totaled it up, but I didn't go through because I had ordered it so many times. So I didn't actually
you didn't go through all of it.
No. So I just did a rough kind of
So you extrapolated the data?
Yes. And in
how many months did you look at?
The extrapolation resulted in I spent last year, which is so fucking embarrassing. Just on Panago, $1,500.
Daniel, that is severe.
I know. I was like,
for you too.
I was like, I don't know.
You know what? You're like a penny pincher, but then with things like this,
I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked.
I can't believe it.
I know, and I was like, hey, that's disgusting. First of all, what is wrong with me?
Well, you know what? No shame.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those things you just don't notice.
Exactly. It's one of those little things.
How many times a month is that?
I think it was 4 a month. Okay,
Daniel, we gotta rein it back.
So it was once a week.
It doesn't even seem. Okay, wait.
But
so
I feel like
once a week. How is it 1,500? Okay, so once a week, how much are you spending each time?
I think it's with tip and everything is around $30.
Okay. I guess that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
So
$30, that's $120-ish a month.
Yep.
Times
it by 12. Get
Plus,
$1,500.
give a little, maybe some days you order a little more.
Yeah.
Or you order, yeah. God damn,
so,
Daniel.
Yeah, it was bad. So then I was
I'm glad you looked at it though.
No, me too. Because it kind of reinforced. Because when you're just you don't always keep track of what you're eating. And
And it doesn't seem that crazy. That's insane though. Because $30 a week doesn't seem that crazy. But then if you look at the whole year,
then it's insane.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, first of all, and that was just on Panago.
I mean, we don't even know how much we've spent on alcohol.
No, I know. I don't even, I don't want to know.
We don't even want to know.
No. So basically I was like, hey, you know what? January 1st, I'm going to delete.
You'd be a changed man.
I'm going to delete all my food delivery apps. This was my New Year's resolution. However, I went out on New Year's Eve.
So you were hungover.
I was hungover and I did order food on.
I feel like January 1st shouldn't count as.
It's a write-off. That day's a write-off. Yeah.
January starts January 2nd.
Exactly. So I started January 2nd, deleted all the apps. I loaded up a ton of groceries. Mm-hmm. I've meal prepped this week. Good. I'm on the right track.
Starting fresh.
Exactly.
And remember, you can always re-download those apps. So
exactly.
But you've created that barrier, as we've talked about.
Oh goddamn!
You've created friction.
I've created friction. So now, if I go home and get stoned, I can't just I have to actually download an app now.
And then you have to log in, and who knows if you'll remember your password.
But this is it, right?
But now I think my phone it saves the password.
It remembers. And it also really makes it easy because you'll find it on the app and it's in the cloud now, so you can actually download it faster because you had it before. You can just download it.
So really, it's not really friction. I think you have to just delete all the data.
Yeah, I think I do.
Because you can do that.
I think I did when I deleted the app. So it was like delete this app and all of its data. And I think I said yes. So
okay. I mean, we'll find out.
They're
Next
gone.
time you're stoned, let me know.
Okay. So tonight, no. I'm just kidding.
Are you gonna stay away from the weed for a little bit, or are you gonna keep going with that?
No. I think I'm gonna like. It's not like I was doing it that much, but like,
yeah.
It's just I find it nice and it helps me relax. But I think what I'm gonna do is try to do it like while I'm in bed or like right when I'm about to go to bed, so I don't end up like.
So my little trick.
Exactly. So I won't end up eating food and getting crazy and like.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna help me a lot, actually.
I mean, it works for me.
Yeah.
It's just because I get lazy once I'm like already in bed and I'm like tired and I'm a little bit further from the kitchen.
Yep.
Just like I've brushed my teeth, I've done
You're
all the
cozy, you're in bed.
exactly,
like...
and then you can just drift off into sleep. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely like days when I like think about the food and stuff, but it's definitely a lot less likely that I'm gonna eat when I'm like laying in bed already.
Well, exactly. That's just the nature of the beast.
So is that your New Year's? You have a New Year's resolution?
Well, it's not really a resolution. It's just like I really wanted to kind of.
It's a fresh start.
Yeah, it's a fresh start. I really wanted to like monitor how much I'm spending in terms of like
things that aren't good for us.
Yeah, or like things that because I think about it, I was like, okay, $1,500 on Panago, which is outrageous.
Just
guys.
on Panago, that's another thing.
I know,
and it's not just delivery. No, New Year's resolution.
So it's not. So it's more like I just want to be more mindful, and I think more so like I'm not gonna like. I still am going to go out for dinner and things, but like, I just want to stop ordering takeaway because like, to me, that's just such a waste because it's like, I have nothing to show for it. It's just like, I wasted all that money and it wasn't like for an experience of like going out for pho or going out to like, something.
It's an experience of the tongue.
Moment on the lips, Rose. But
moment on the lips, forever on the hips.
But I think $1,500 in a year is excessive. Like that's insane.
Is quite a lot.
I know. I'm like that's a vacation. That's a fucking vacation to Mexico.
I mean, if we do this, we could do this with everything.
I know, it's so true. It's funny because like it's amazing. I don't know what the concept is, but like how like the little things add up. Like you don't think a lot of it. Like ordering takeaway, you're like, oh, it's only at least for me, most of the time it's like around $20 to $30. I'm like, okay, that's fine. $20 for whatever.
Sure.
And then you don't think about it. And then over time, that $20 adds up. It's like even like getting coffee. Like I quite often go with my coworkers to Tim Hortons. It's right there.
Tim Hortons is so cheap though.
I know, but still you say this, then $2 a coffee adds up quite quick.
Oh my God, Daniel, there's some things you can just spend the money.
Then maybe some of us aren't as rich as you, okay?
You make enough to get some Tim Hortons coffee.
Well, apparently.
Now, if we're talking about Starbucks lattes, that's a different story.
I know, that's true. Those are ridiculous.
But $2 Tim Hortons coffee is acceptable.
Okay. But anyway, it all adds up, right? Like it does.
It all does add up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we need to have balance and not freak out over every little spend.
Well,
so
that's not going to be my 2023. I'm going to freak out about everything, Rose.
I really,
I need to tighten the purse strings. Okay. Need to go back to my student life.
I mean, you haven't left it too much. you still spend like
getting a roommate now.
You still, oh my! Are we talking about this?
No, it's not.
You still spend like a student because you're still ordering delivery pizzas when you're stoned.
That's true. Oh my God. I'm like living my student life, like getting stoned and eating pizza. Like who am I? Like an 18-year-old college kid, like first year uni.
You should just get those like, I mean, it's still like not cheap, but it's cheaper than getting delivery. Like and it's not as good, but like the frozen pizzas.
The Beyond Pizzas?
Yeah. Or like, any of the, it's like what, 10, is it $10?
No, I think you can get them on sale. I've seen them for like,
okay.
I'm pretty sure I've seen them for like $7.99 on sale, but I think they're usually $9.99.
Yeah. And they're like not that big. Like they're like pretty small. So I feel like it's not crazy. So you could keep those on hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God. Is it just me though? Or like, I know this probably like, this might be boring for you guys, but like I went and stocked up on a bunch of groceries yesterday and like, honestly,
are we complaining about how expensive it is?
Yes.
Okay.
But more specifically, I already knew like the price of certain things have gone up, like tofu, for example.
Don't get me started.
But oh my God, like it seems like produce has all of a sudden skyrocketed.
Produce is the worst.
Yeah, it's like it was crazy. I put like I got like some sweet potatoes or something, and it was I can't remember, but it was so expensive.
Were you in Safeway?
Yeah.
This is the thing. You got to be careful with Safeway.
Yeah.
Especially with like the weight, when you have to weigh the produce.
Yeah.
They just know you're not going to weigh it, and they just charge you like so much fucking money.
It was crazy. I got a red pepper. I think it was like a red pepper.
Oh, I never buy it.
It was fucking so expensive. I was like,
know.
what is this? It's one red pepper. Like
how much was it? Like $4?
I think something. It was like
Oh my God.
$2.89 or something.
Ridiculous. Do
And
you
I'm
ever
like,
sometimes like tell them to like just remove it?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, 'cause
well, I
sometimes
usually
I'm
go
like-
through self-checkout.
I know, but sometimes I'm like, can I not get this?
Even the onions have gone up a lot.
Everything's gone up.
I was like, because onions I remember being cheap. But anyway, guys, c'est la vie.
I mean,
Spent way too much on groceries.
I know. Today as well, like I bought like some groceries and it was like $60 or something.
And it's like nothing.
And yeah, like it didn't feel like a lot. Like to be fair, I did buy 2 like of the Eve's like vegan turkey, whatever.
Okay, then you making some turkey sandwiches.
Oh, I love those. And it's for convenience. Okay.
Yeah.
So I bought 2 of those. But other than that, it was just tofu and like produce, like nothing insane.
Yeah.
And it was not that much.
But this is the thing. Think about what we buy as vegans. Like, I mean, I do sometimes buy more of the like processed
Indulgent,
vegan.
yeah.
But overall, like we're buying like lentils and freaking veggies and, you know, like not really
Not
high
much.
ticket items. We're not
I
buying
know.
like, you know, some of the more expensive stuff. And our bills are still so expensive.
I know. That's the thing. And then you add in like a few of the, like, that's the thing. I only bought 2 of those Eve's things.
Yeah.
And then the rest was like tofu, avocado, and even avocado today, it was like 2 for $3. And I was like, oh, what a steal. And before that was like the normal price. If not, that was like more than, you know what I mean? Like I used to get it for like $1.
Yeah.
And now it's like, and then I was looking at tofu. And then the fucking medium from tofu was $2.50. I was like, oh my God, a steal. Let me get 2.
And
I'm
that's
like,
what it used to be.
I
remember.
know, that's like the normal price of last
but now it's
year.
like $4.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm going to start making my own tofu and growing my own fucking vegetables.
Oh, God damn.
I'm going to start a romaine lettuce business. That's where the money is.
Well, apparently, because there's been shortages everywhere. Apparently, no one can grow lettuce right now.
So yeah, what is it? Like that must be why it's so expensive. Like,
I think it
the
is,
lettuce
yeah.
thing, the lettuce shortage.
But then my thing is like, and a lot of people were like talking about this. I saw on like vlogs and stuff, and like, or whatever.
About what? Lettuce shortage?
No, not about lettuce shortage, but talking about in general. They're like the price have skyrocketed due to, you know, increased supply costs and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But like then on the flip side, if supply costs go down,
Is it going to go down?
Is it going to go down? You know what I mean? Or are they just going to keep it at that same high price?
It's probably going to be kept.
Because like, how often do things actually go down in price?
I know.
Like
That's the thing.
I think electronics
it's all inflation.
I know inflation. I know like electronics do as like software and everything technology gets cheaper to manufacture.
That's true.
That does come down, but like everything else, I'm like, has it ever come down? Like
Especially like everyday goods that we need to buy anyways.
Yeah.
It's like I think with like, you know, computers and TVs and stuff, as we get better technology and also lots of players in the market, whatever, the prices go down depending on the technology.
Yeah.
But then with, you know, lettuce or like, you know, the price of fucking rice or something, that doesn't really go down, does it?
No, I don't think it ever
So
has.
am I going to forever pay $9 for 3 fucking heads of romaine lettuce?
Yep, that's the new norm.
Okay, never eating lettuce again.
# new norm. God damn, guys.
Anyway, so well, I mean, let's talk about romaine lettuce for a second and why it's fucking short.
Oh god damn.
So it says, well, it's not even just romaine; it's just lettuce in general.
Yeah.
Lettuce shortage in Canada. This is in November.
Yeah.
Signals supply chain challenges for food retailers. See, this is the thing. We use lettuce at the cafe, and I'm like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
This is like gold. Anyway, many consumers
Green
have
gold.
noticed it's seriously that Canada has run out of lettuce. Mainly from California. Crops were destroyed by a drought and a nasty virus. So I guess like it's just, you know, California, man.
I
What
know.
the fuck
well,
is-
they also had all those raging fires and stuff.
They're
like
fucked
it kind of freaked. Well, not just them though. We're fucked
because we're
because this is the thing. We're an international economy. We
And we're
supply
right
on
by
all
the
each
US.
other. Yeah, exactly. And as more of these extreme weather patterns that we talked about, even in Canada, we had these like crazy heat and all this stuff.
oh my god.
It's like
And-
impacting crops.
And the fucking snowstorms all
Yeah.
over. Like there was like a bunch of people in the States that like died from the have you heard about the snowstorms, like the crazy ones? In the,
Oh
in
yeah,
the
no, I
States.
did. Yeah.
So there was like one huge one in
Was
like
it in
Buffalo.
Boston?
I think there must have been because
Yeah.
there was one in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
Which was like, I think that's the one that like really,
That's one where the snow was like so high.
it was insane.
Yeah.
And then like, I think like 50 plus people have died from there. Like,
Oh my god.
hold on. Let me actually look.
Speaking of snowfall, I did see this really funny TikTok of this guy. Like
Yeah.
he was like, sorry. He was like talking about
Was he Australian?
He wasn't. I don't know why I did that. Sorry.
We just like to say, sorry.
Sorry. No, he was like, what did he say? He was like, yeah, ladies, there's been a huge, and he like took a video outside and there's like lots of snow and stuff. He's like, there's been about a 6-inch snowfall. That's a big amount, right? That's a large amount, right? 6 inches. I think maybe he said 5, and he was like, you know, that's like a good amount of snow, right? Would you say, ladies, like 5 inches or so? I was literally like dying. I was like, what is
surprised
this?
you haven't said that to me.
I know I should have. I'm like, fuck, now I won't be able to find it because I can never find anything on TikTok.
Do you not like it?
No, I don't like
Daniel,
anything.
You gotta like it so that you can later find it.
Oh no, I didn't do that.
That's why you like it or save it.
Oh no.
Anyway, so Buffalo's deadly blizzard. These pictures are insane though. If you like go on Google and search like Buffalo, New York.
Oh yeah. You sent me a video, I think, where the person was like going outside their house and it was like the size of them.
Oh my God. Like, and they're used to like snow, but it's like, it's just, this is an insane amount.
It's too much.
And like, we're Canadian. So like, if we say it's insane, like it's an insane amount. 39 people at least have died.
Holy shit.
Due to the storm. And like, actually, it's pretty crazy. So this is a public service announcement for safety. Safety PSA.
Okay.
Again, sometimes TikToks can save lives.
Okay.
So I saw this TikTok. It's actually so sad. So basically this girl that lives in Buffalo, she was like this 20-something-year-old girl was in her car, you know, driving through the storm because maybe she had to go to work or whatever she had to do, right? You got to do shit, you know?
Yeah.
Also imagine if you live in a city we always talk about this, car dependent.
Yep.
And you got to get groceries or something.
And it's a blizzard.
Exactly. I mean, not that you can really leave when you're... Anyway.
You could literally...
Yeah, like my store... like in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I could, like,
well, same with me. The Safeway for me
like it's walkable.
is like 2 blocks.
Sure. Yeah.
So like, yeah, it would suck walking in a blizzard. But actually driving would be worse. And then think about these, especially these like more car dependent communities.
Yeah.
They don't have a grocery store 2 blocks away. They got to drive like 10 minutes, you know? So it's not even like about the getting in the car and driving. It's like the distance they have to go.
Yeah, exactly. So that gives you more chance to get into an accident. Yeah. Anyways, so this girl was driving in this storm and she got stuck. It was like it was such a crazy blizzard. So her car got stuck.
Yeah.
And
I remember you telling me this. Oh my God.
Did I tell you this?
Yes.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, I did tell you this. So her car got
I do
stuck.
Listen sometimes.
Like sometimes. when it concerns you.
Well, this doesn't concern me at all.
Well, I mean, it
that sounds really bad. No. It's not that it doesn't concern me at all, guys. But
it should. I mean, it concerns everybody. As in, it's a safety thing, right?
PSA.
Exactly. I mean, I think everyone. Anyway, so this girl, she's like driving. She got stuck, and then she, you know, was like calling people to, you know, come help her. You know.
Yeah.
And I don't know who she called, but it was taking forever, and it's obviously freezing. So she has the car going, but the snow is piling on like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And so it keeps going up and it's like reaching her like car doors or whatever.
Can you imagine?
Oh my, I would be fucking terrified. And she's like texting her family. She's like, okay, I'm waiting for these people, like whatever.
Yeah.
I got the car going. And then a few hours later, she passed away. And the reason, which we know, is because and like honestly, it seems like common sense when you hear about it, but I feel like I would also just like in that moment not think about this. Yeah. Because what happens is like when your car starts to like when there's snow that starts to pile up in your car, what is it called? The exhaust?
Exhaust, yeah.
The pipe, it'll get like stuck. It'll get blocked. And then the carbon monoxide, is it carbon monoxide, right? The carbon monoxide that's supposed to get out into the air just goes into the car, and then you die of carbon monoxide poisoning.
There's not a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there's how some people.
A lot of people die of carbon monoxide poisoning.
So the reason it's so dangerous though is, well, there's a couple things.
Because you'll never know.
Exactly. And this whole situation though about the exhaust, some people commit suicide this way.
Yes.
They'll block the exhaust pipe and they'll direct
have the garage door closed.
Yeah, exactly. Because of this exact reason. Now, the thing that's scary about carbon monoxide is, from what I remember learning about this as a kid, is number one, it's a scentless gas. So like you don't even know, like this room could be full of carbon monoxide. Yeah. We'd have no fucking idea. And what happens is, it's not like you start like anything crazy starts happening to you.
You just fall asleep.
You just feel tired. Like you start to feel really tired and you're like, oh, I'm just going to have a nap, you know, and then you fucking die.
Exactly.
Like how fucking scary.
It's scary.
Is that? And it's
and
weird.
Lots of people die from this.
Oh yeah, loads. It's because of the fact that it's scentless. So you don't, at least with other gas leaks, you're like, oh, okay, there's a gas leak in here.
It's scarier than like, I mean, it's not scarier than fire, but it's scary in a sense that you will just easily die without knowing. Because like with a fire, you'll know there's a fire.
Of course. Like, and they actually say with fires, which is kind of scary as well, the thing that kills people first is the smoke.
Right.
Because they actually can't breathe properly.
Right.
They get asphyxiated or whatever. Yeah. And then they'll die and then you burn. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but the moral of the story. So now we know.
Yeah.
If we get stuck, anywhere, like just always make sure you're checking that your car, the pipes are not blocked. And maybe if you can, keep the window open a little bit.
Yeah.
Because again, like you could just, and the girl, oh God, it's so sad. This poor girl was like texting her family, like, and like there was one part where she was like, I keep dozing off.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, it's like,
so
I wouldn't have
sad.
clued in. You know, it's hard to be like, oh, it's because you're, you know.
Because you're carbon monoxide. You,
Yeah.
that, you wouldn't think that in the car. Like, it's
Yes.
just like, that wouldn't be your first
Because like technically
thought.
you're like outside.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not your first thought. Like it wouldn't be my
Ugh.
first thought. But now I know. So like everyone just, you know, FYI. And also another thing you could do is did we talk about this, Daniel?
What?
You need to buy a carbon monoxide detector.
Right. We did talk about it. Yeah.
And you haven't got it yet? Daniel, this is important.
No, I know. I'm going. Okay. I'm going to get one this week.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And
I'll order one offline.
done.
Yeah.
So this is because my dad's like very paranoid about this. Because you can easily, like, let's say you, like, if this is worse if you have a car and you have a garage and
Yeah.
you live in a house, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have a car, a lot of times, like, let's say you drive in, accidentally leave your gas on
Yeah.
for some reason, right? Close the garage door, the entire house poisoned.
Yeah. Unless you have windows open.
Exactly. And how often do people have windows open in the middle of, in the middle of the fucking winter?
True. I sleep with my window open.
I mean, well,
Even in -30.
well, most people are not.
I know. It's kind of fucked up.
Are
and
not
crazy.
weird like
Yeah,
you.
I know. Because, like, I just love having fresh air in my room.
I'll never understand this. I mean, a lot of men do this, I feel like.
Yeah. But also it's because, and I think I don't know if it's like a proven thing, but like, I just feel like we run at a very hot temperature. Like, I'm always hot. Like,
Yeah, men have higher, like,
Test-
body temperature or
I think
whatever.
so. Yeah. Because I honestly, like, a lot of my like friends that are girls, they'll have like cold hands and feet.
Yeah.
Whereas
It's a thing.
meanwhile, I'm like, my hands are sweating. I'm always hot. Like, I literally am always hot.
I feel like I'm like, for a girl, I don't get cold that easily.
That's true.
Yeah. So for a girl, I'm actually like, I feel like I'm like,
Like, one of my friends, her hands
are always, that's
even
bad
in the
circulation.
I know, even in the summer and stuff, like, she'll like touch you and it's like
Oh.
cold, and I'm like, oh.
That's bad circulation.
I know. I think that's part of it. But like, again, a lot of women are like
Right.
that, though.
And they
Like,
say that the reason why offices are so cold for women is because they are geared toward men.
oh, that makes sense because I always feel perfect in the office.
Anyways, so guys, and then also another thing you could do is when you're traveling, that you can actually get like a portable carbon monoxide detector.
Okay.
Because a lot of places, again, a lot of places might have fire alarms.
But they don't have
it's-
carbon monoxide detectors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you're traveling in, like, different countries, like, I don't know how many of these places have carbon monoxide detectors.
That's true.
And it's scary because you just don't know.
And that's the scary thing is like,
Yeah.
even if you were like, if you fell asleep in your room before there's carbon monoxide and then all of a sudden for whatever reason there's a leak of carbon monoxide into your room, you wouldn't
just
wake
die.
up. You
Yeah.
would just die in your sleep.
Oh, God. It's so scary.
Like, that's actually
Yeah.
fucking terrifying. Like,
and people that live in warmer climates, like, how, like, because of this climate change craziness,
yeah.
there's been places like that normally don't get really cold weather that got like super cold weather.
Yeah.
So if you live in a climate where it's always like warm, you don't know how to deal with like colder weather. So some people have died because they just leave their car, like, it's so cold in their house, so they go into their car, turn it
the heat
on to turn the heat on.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And then they die because they have no idea.
Oh my God. That's so horrible.
It's like it's like, I don't know. I feel like we're not taught enough about this. Like, I know this because, like, I don't know, like, my dad was like very paranoid. So
yeah.
which, I mean, fair, like,
Yeah.
fair to be fucking paranoid.
I think again, it's just because it's like, because it's, you just don't know. Like, this
Yes.
room, if
Exactly.
if there was a carbon monoxide leak right now in this room, we
wouldn't
know.
know. We would
Yeah.
just,
We'd start to feel sleepy.
well, we would know because I have a detector and it would start beeping.
Where your detector? Is that it?
It's in my living
You
room.
buy one?
My dad bought it for me.
Oh, God damn.
He's like, please put this.
I want to see what it look like. So when I order mine,
I'll show you. It's right
God
there.
damn, I'll take a photo.
You can take a photo.
God damn, if my phone was alive at that time.
Oh,
Anyway.
God. Anyways, so yes, guys.
Oh, another tip as well.
Oh, we got tips.
We got one more tip.
We got lots of tips.
This one's more if you ever get trapped in an avalanche.
Oh,
So
okay.
less likely than carbon monoxide poisoning, I think.
We should do an episode on just like random shit like this.
Yeah. So
Saving lives.
exactly, saving lives, guys. And I don't know, like, again, depending on the situation, but like, let's say you get trapped in an avalanche, and what quite often happens is people get like disorientated.
Okay.
And you kind of like don't really know which way's up and which way's down.
Okay.
Because you might start to try to like dig to get yourself out,
yeah.
right?
But you're digging yourself into a deeper hole.
Exactly.
Potentially.
So they say the best way to do this is like, and again, it's if you remember, is to actually spit. because if you spit, you see which way your spit goes. Right?
Interesting.
Because if you go and it goes like this, it means that's towards the ground, that's towards the sky.
So even when you're like literally trapped in the avalanche and like the snow is everywhere, the spit will still move to the...
Yeah. Well, you have to clear a little bit of space, right? But then you would just go and then you'd see which way it would go.
Oh, interesting.
But even if you just spit it and if it runs on your face this way,
right?
You know that's the ground and this is the sky.
God damn, Daniel, I hope I never have to test that.
I know, me neither. I never want to be in these situations, guys.
But it's good to know.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes in those situations you might forget this stuff because it'd be so stressful.
I know, but it's still good to like know.
Yeah, I do think as we've reinforced in our mind so many times that if it did happen, even the adrenaline's going, I'd be like, fuck, which way's up, which way's down, spit.
Yeah.
You know, I'll pull a rose.
That reminded me of that scene in Titanic where they're spitting.
Oh, yeah.
And just a refresher of the crowd crush one. This when you're in a crowd crush.
Right. Oh yes. Yeah.
Put your arms in front of your chest, fold it, and leave a little space so that you can breathe.
Yeah. Protecting your vital organs.
Exactly. Protecting your vital organs and also leaving room for your lungs to breathe. Mm-hmm. Hopefully none of us have to test these out in real life.
No, exactly. Let's stay safe out there, guys.
Let's stay safe, guys.
Talking about staying safe.
So our first story of the evening.
So this is not a surprise at all.
It's not a surprise. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already heard this, but Andrew Tate, our beloved Andrew Tate, which we're being sarcastic if you haven't picked up. We've talked about him before. He's a misogynistic. I don't even know how to describe him. I guess they call him an influencer, which is scary.
He started this like what was it, like Hustlers University or something?
Yes. So he started like at this program.
And the reason he became so famous on social media is because like he had a lot of people sharing his content.
Yes.
As part of this Hustlers University and all this bullshit.
Yes. And he says a lot of like controversial things.
Yeah, he does. He would say like very like specific, like really horrible things. Like
horrible things.
What do I have in common with a woman other than to fuck her? You know, things like this, like crazy,
literally though.
Yeah, crazy shit. And he also like there was like stories about his like backstory and stuff, and like he was potentially he was kind of into some fighting and stuff. I don't know if it was like boxing.
He was like a boxer, I think.
Yeah, something like this. Semi-professional, I want to say. And then also him and his brother, like they started this online webcam girl business.
Yes. So like he would be like the manager.
Exactly. In Eastern Europe. And even before this story came out, this was like way before, there was already so much like speculation as to what was going on with these girls, right? Like there were some, you know, comments that like the girls were like, you know, taken advantage of and all this kind of stuff. And he was like acted like this, like he was like a pimp basically.
And I feel like he didn't even try to hide the fact that he was like basically trafficking these women or acting as their pimp.
That's why I'm surprised this took so long to happen.
I think it's because what happened. So basically the story is that he is now arrested.
Well, he's detained, right?
Well, he's been detained in Romania on human trafficking and rape charges. Ew. Anyway.
Well, because it was said that some of the girls like... well, and I don't. We'll read more about this in just a second. But like, a lot of the girls had mentioned that he used his like position of power for like sexual exploitation.
That is so not surprising.
I know, and I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I'm sure there was like a video out there, and I'm like 95%.
He was beating up a woman.
Yeah, when he like hit a woman or something, and then he also mentioned he was like talking about like because I think he ran also like a prostitute ring or something.
I don't know.
And he was like, he was talking about how he had sex with some of the girls.
Right.
He's like, well, you got to try the product before you're pushing it out and stuff.
Oh God, ew.
And I was like, oh my God, you're a horrible man.
And
like,
also I think the reason why like I'm not sure actually, I'm sure the article will say, but I heard that he wasn't actually like there was maybe a warrant out for his arrest or people were looking for him.
Yeah.
And the reason why he got caught is because on like live camera, he ordered some kind of pizza. He got like a pizza delivery.
Yeah.
So basically Romania, he was in Romania when he got like arrested.
Yeah.
And people didn't know, the Romanian police did not know that he was in Romania and they were looking for him, allegedly, I think. Okay. And the reason why they found out he was in Romania is because he basically doxed himself and he ordered a pizza that was a very famous Romanian brand pizza. So they found out he was in Romania, and then I don't know how they like found his specific location.
Yeah.
But that's what I heard. Continue.
Yeah. So like it's kind of crazy. So Andrew, so he had been banned from social media. This happened after, he was really blowing up. Yeah. But they're saying obviously his like, because he was banned for like hate speech and misogynistic, like disgustingly misogynistic views.
Yeah.
But you know the thing about him being in Romania, like he was pretty vocal that he was living in Romania. Like,
yeah, like,
it never was like a surprise thing. It was like he always talked about how he liked living in Eastern Europe. One, because it's cheaper and you pay less tax.
But maybe he left because
of all these allegations.
Because I heard he had these allegations before, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to find out how he got caught.
So, okay. Yeah. So.
Oh wait, I got it here.
Okay.
A judge will rule. The brothers have been under investigation since April alongside 2 Romanian nationals.
Oh, so it's been ongoing for a while.
Yeah. So
then.
maybe they just got his arrest warrant. I'm not sure.
I know, these things take so much time. That's the problem.
So blah blah blah. They pled their fifth. They remain silent. For once, he's fucking silent.
Of course. And this is the funny thing, you know. First he was like singing like a canary, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, not gonna say anything.
Let me see. I want to find out exactly how he got like caught. Anyway, okay, so continue. Yeah.
So basically, part of this investigation, the agency that's investigating him said the British citizens, because him and his brother are both from the UK, recruited women who were subject to acts of physical violence and mental coercion. So that they basically forced women into this. And
and they probably barely paid them, so that and they're probably in desperate situations.
Oh yeah, that's why this is part of the reason he went to, and this sounds really bad, guys, but why he went to Eastern Europe.
And he said it.
Yeah, and he was like, and he's like, you know what, I'm offering these girls an opportunity, you know, they get to make all of this money, blah blah blah. Obviously, I take a cut. And it was saying sexually exploited by group members and forced to perform pornographic acts intended to reap important financial benefits.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So apparently the pizza theory is incorrect.
It's debunked.
It was debunked. It's not real, because they said the rumor was that the pizza it says that he was detained by Romania authorities. Several reports suggested that the pizza box helped cops narrow in on Mr. Tate's location. However, it has been revealed now by the Romanian officials that the pizza box did not tip Romanian law enforcement agencies. And then I guess maybe they were just under investigation, and then they finally got the arrest warrant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This guy is such an idiot. Even before this arrest warrant, he also had a Twitter spat with Greta
Thunberg,
who, if you guys don't know her, she was a famous
she is
a famous activist,
young environmental activist.
Exactly. She's not that young anymore though. She's 19 now.
Damn, she's 19.
I know, because I remember it.
Why did I think she was 13?
But I thought she was 9 when this thing happened. You know, I'm
no,
what happened?
Never 9.
Okay, I thought she was 9.
I mean, she was 9. I don't know if she was 9 when she was famous though.
But I love this part. I wish I had her exact what she said.
I think I have it. I think they'll have it.
It's if you go down. Put hello at Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cars, which again, that's ridiculous. Nobody needs fucking 33 cars.
Also, why are you what are you
It's because he's a troll. He's a fucking troll.
God. Anyway,
he goes, my Bugatti has a W16 8.0L quad turbo, whatever the fuck that means. My two Ferrari 812s have XYZ. This is just a start. Please provide your email address so I can send you a complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions.
And then this is her response. Yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com.
That's amazing.
It's also funny because I wouldn't expect her to respond like that.
Yeah.
Because she I don't know, she doesn't seem like she would say that. You know what I mean?
She's very well spoken.
Yes,
that's part of the reason she became so famous.
She seems very professional.
She's very put together, and that's why when she was was 13 or 9 doing that speech, because she made a plea to Congress or something, right?
Yeah, she did. She was very
she was just
emotional.
Yeah, she was the house is on fire. Wasn't that her? That was
yeah, I can't remember.
She's we're all gonna die. Well, not exactly like this, guys. You have to look it up. I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was pleading to them. She's you guys, we need to take action now. This is not a joking matter anymore.
I don't even know how she got famous.
Because it was this speech.
Well, you can't just easily get on that.
No.
To do that speech.
But I think she might have I don't know how that all.
Yeah, she just kind of blew up out of nowhere.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. But yeah.
So Andrew Tate. So he obviously, wanted to stroke his ego. I don't know.
I know. You know what's so funny too? There's a troll TikToker that's an Andrew Tate lookalike. Have you
Shut
seen
up.
it?
No.
Yeah. And it's so funny because the guy that looks, they never show his face because I don't think he, but
Oh,
from
is he the
behind,
one that like walks very
yeah,
effeminately?
and is like, yeah.
Yes, I saw that.
And literally there's so many videos of this guy in like different, and then there's another one, he does kind of look like him.
Yeah.
There's another one of him like dancing.
That's so funny.
And being all like, you know, like this.
Yeah.
And it's like the funniest shit ever because obviously Andrew Tate's like this misogynistic, like
Oh my
macho,
God.
I'm a fucking this and this and this.
Yeah.
Like, toxic masculinity,
Ew,
like
he's
to the
so gross.
100th degree. Yeah. Oh.
And like what's scary is like there's a good amount of straight men that
Follow
like,
this.
Exactly.
That's
Which
what-
is
that's what's scary.
what's scary. Like I don't care about this man, but it's scary how easily people are just
Well, and you can see it.
influenced.
Like, you know, one thing that I see, which is kind of, I feel like a result of the Andrew Tates of the world, is this whole concept of a body count. Because I've seen it so much on TikTok where they'll be like interviewing guys and they're like, hey, bro, what would you say for her body count was 10? Yo, bro, that's disgusting. I wouldn't even hit that with a pole. Like, I don't know what I was trying to do there, guys, but like,
my favorite is your straight man
I know,
impressions.
but it's like you have all these young impressionable guys, like usually like 18 to 20,
Like, yeah.
25 maybe,
Yeah.
and they're like talking about like, oh yeah, if she slept with more than 2 people, she's a disgusting tramp, all this stuff, and
I
that's a
know.
direct result of guys like this, because that's something that he would say.
Yeah, 100%.
Wasn't it Andrew Tate that was the one that was like, I don't like a woman over 30? Yeah, and he's like
because she's been through too much
she's
dick.
She's been look, that's exactly. She's been through too much dick. She's had too much dick in her. And I would rather someone that's 18, you know, and it's like and inexperienced.
Ew. Exactly.
I'm like, yeah, because you're probably lousy in bed.
Like that's the thing. When men say this, when men are like, oh, like I don't want a girl that's, you know, because literally why? Like, let's actually dissect it.
Exactly.
Why do you not want someone that has had many partners?
Yeah.
It's because you are afraid that you will not meet the expectation.
100%.
Because you've had a lot of experience. If I've only eaten at one restaurant and then I go to eat at your restaurant, the chances are I might like your food. But if I've eaten at 100 restaurants,
Yeah.
I might
You're
not
gonna be
review
more of-
your food very well.
You're going to be more of a critic
Picky.
of the
Exactly.
of that sausage.
Of that bratwurst.
Of that well, exactly. You're going to have a little bit more of a critique.
I've been around
you know?
the sausage buffet.
Exactly. You might have sampled some international cuisine. Okay, you know, there's
I've been to the international buffet. I know all the cuisines. So
oh god damn, Rose.
So the chance I'm gonna like your cuisine less.
Exactly. But this and the reality of it all, guys, is it's like it's really from my perspective at least, it's really fucking meaningless unless it is an astronomically high number. Like if I met someone and they're like, I've slept like at my age at 34, I've slept with 2,000 people. Then I might be a little bit like, oh
there
my
are
god.
extremes.
Yeah, exactly. That's one end
But
of the
also,
extreme.
I think we're missing the point here is that sure, maybe you want someone, I don't know, maybe there's some fucking reason that you want someone that's only slept with one person. But did you only sleep with one person? In that case, then maybe we can like let them get away with it. But none of these men care if the man has slept with 100, 200 women.
No.
And they've personally maybe slept with, 200 women or whatever. But somehow they care if the partner has slept with.
Exactly. And that's when it's like, well, you need to calm the fuck down.
Yes, exactly.
Because why is it okay that you've slept with 200 people and you don't want your partner to have slept with more than 2?
Exactly. It's just
like, fuck you.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Anyways, yes.
I hate it.
Well,
so
he's
much.
arrested. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I hope he goes to prison.
Yes.
Because I think he's detained right now. I think they're doing further investigation,
Yeah.
it sounds like. So, and this is the problem.
God.
I think this is the kind of there's pros and cons to our like legal system, like globally.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest issues that we have, and I think why this took so long as well, is like it's just such a long process to do anything. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Even if you have almost the evidence like right in front of you, it's like you got to get warrants, you got to get all of this stuff, which in some ways protects us that the police can't just break in here.
Exactly.
But in other ways, when you know that someone is legitimately fucking committing crimes,
right,
it takes longer to detain them.
I know, because you have to get all the proof and you have to make sure that you have a case.
Exactly.
Because there's all this bureaucracy. So if they arrest him too soon and they don't have a case, then there's a chance that they're going to lose the trial or whatever.
Exactly.
So it's all just,
it's a game as well.
Crazy. It's insane.
It's like a weird like
I know.
game. Like even when like I feel like if you have a good like defense lawyer and stuff, it's like even if you have all this evidence that points to you, somehow they can like twist it and manipulate it and break down the key witnesses and discredit them and like
it's
all this
all
stuff.
A game. The courtroom is all a game. I mean, like like if you know anything about true crime, you know that it's just, if you're the defense, you just have to, no matter what you do, either you have to prove that your client is innocent, or you have to basically just like lessen whatever.
Mitigate.
Yeah. So if you know, like, let's say somebody like shot up like 20 people in the public, then people know that you did it.
Exactly.
But then you have to be like, somehow they want, they need to have less of a sentence.
They're going to weave a story.
Yeah. They're going to be
they're going to create a whole,
exactly.
This person had a troubled childhood. This person had this.
Exactly.
This person was under the influence of X, Y, Z. You know, like exactly. it's like a fucking play.
And then the prosecutor does the opposite job.
Yeah.
So like, it's like it is literally a game, because
100% it is.
If you're the prosecutor, you can't think, you have to try to get like the maximum whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the job of the prosecutor.
They want to prosecute to the full extent of the law.
Which is kind of crazy.
In the United States of America, Rose.
Which is kind of crazy, because it's like, it's a game.
Yeah.
Because like one person is defending and trying to get the least that you can. The other person is doing the opposite. For what?
Trying to discredit each other, trying to discredit each other's witnesses.
It's crazy.
Trying to each bring in expert witnesses.
Yeah.
trying to discredit those.
Speaking of which, have you heard about this new, like, I don't know how much you follow like modern day true crime?
I haven't seen a recent
Okay, so
stuff.
it's not like, it's like literally what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So recently, like, this happened maybe a month ago. I don't know. So in this place, it's in University of Idaho, I think. There was like a case where basically it's like a university town.
Yeah.
It was called Moscow. I was like, is this Russia?
Yeah.
Apparently it's somewhere in the US. So
it's like random. It's like when you hear those names,
you're
it's like
Paris, fucking Alabama.
I know. Like you're like, okay, guys, you can calm down there. You're no Paris, all right?
Well, it's like London, Ontario.
I know. Oh, God.
Every time I say I still live in London, people are like, London, UK, or London, Ontario. I'm like, honey, if I lived in London, Ontario, I would never say
I would not tell
I used
people.
to live in London. Well, I would say I lived in London, Ontario.
Yeah.
I would always follow up with Ontario, because
Yeah.
I don't want nobody thinking I lived in London, UK, when I lived in London, but fuck Ontario. Okay, no offense if you live in London, Ontario. But
yeah. No offense,
anyways.
guys.
So Moscow, I guess it's like this college town, kind of.
In Idaho.
I think it's Idaho.
Okay.
So basically so a lot of like students like live together in these homes or whatever. And in this one home, which I think was like a home that a lot of people, like they're social kids, people are coming in and out, whatever. And there was some girls living in there and whatever. So in this home, randomly, 5 students or 4 students were found dead. Stabbed after one night. Yeah. One of them was a couple, or 2 of them were a couple.
Yeah.
So a guy and a girl, and then these 2 other girls, I think. And then people were, so this was a huge story, because like, what the fuck is that, right?
Yeah.
Like they didn't really have any, I mean, it was.
Do they have any suspects?
Well, they finally arrested this one guy.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. He's saying he is innocent, but
yeah.
It's all over the news. It's crazy.
Yeah. You know what was one of the scariest and crazy things that I recall from when I was, really deep into forensic files and stuff?
Yeah.
One of the saddest things, guys, that I learned about like crimes and all this stuff, like sexual assaults, murders, all of this stuff. It was like some crazy, I don't know what the stat is now, but it was like a crazy high stat that like 90% or something ridiculous is by somebody that you know.
Yeah.
Like someone that's in your immediate circle, family member, family friend. Like I was like, what the actual fuck?
But it makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because like very rarely, again, I'm not saying it's logical to kill someone you know, but like, you don't, it's very rare that you just have a mental breakdown and kill random people.
Yeah, but the funny thing is when I think of murder, right? Like if I ever think about me getting killed, it's always by some random person that breaks into my house.
I know. I mean, that's because you would never imagine that somebody that you know
and love
could do that.
Yeah. It's kind of that used to trip me out. When I used to hear about
God.
that, it was like it's always somebody that's in the family, or somebody that's like around you. And it's like
someone that's around you. Yeah.
That's so fucked up to me. Like,
I wonder what because usually it's the spouse.
Yeah.
Usually it's the partner.
Crimes
I think that's like
of passion.
Oh, I think that's like the majority. Yeah. Well, and it's also, because you have fucking life insurance, that kind of shit. Right. So, and also, I mean, with like family, for example, like if you have parents, it's like maybe they want the money of the parents. Like, what the fuck, dude? a lot of it's money.
Yeah.
A lot of it's money related.
This is the thing. Money, more problems.
More money, more problems.
I got 99 problems.
I'm telling you, if your partner starts asking you about life insurance.
Oh my God, life insurance. Oh my God. So many life insurance things.
Yes.
So
if your partner starts asking you about life insurance,
girl. So
red flag. No, just kidding.
God damn. Oh, you want to up the life insurance policy and then a month later you end up dead?
Well, that's another thing. So many cases where it's like literally they just changed their life insurance policy.
Like a month before,
a week before.
Yeah.
And then their partner just ends up murdered. It's like, do you not know that police can track that? Like,
yeah.
They can fucking check, bro.
I know. It's crazy.
Like, it's insane how dumb people can be.
Anyway, guys. So our next story is about another dumb person. No.
One of our other favorite people.
Oh my God, all of our favorite people are back on the podcast. I love it. The only person we're missing is my ultimate favorite person, Candace Owens.
I knew you'd say that.
Who, Candace, if you're listening, which she isn't, but if she is, we would love to have you on an episode.
Oh, Lord.
So Donald Trump, so it finally has come out. I think it's a pretty recent.
Oh God, that man's face. I haven't seen that man's face.
I know. It's been a while. There he is. Reminisce.
Oh God.
So I guess it's come out. So 6 years of Donald Trump's tax returns were released by a House committee on Friday. So it would have been, I guess, just before.
So finally they actually investigated.
Yeah. So I guess Trump had tried to obviously keep them sealed before the election. Yeah. He refused to disclose a bunch of information. So get this.
Which is kind of crazy. Like you literally... you were president of the United States.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you have to release that information.
Yeah. And get this. Early revelations include the finding that Trump paid just $750 in federal income tax during his first year in office in 2017, paid no tax in 2020.
What?
So I think because it's like a combination of his personal and business finances.
Yes.
He does a lot of like creative accounting, I like to call it.
Yes.
Where if you have a business, you can operate at a loss. You can expense things. You do all of this extra stuff, which most people do. It's a legal thing that they're doing.
Yes.
But this sounds like
it was
really
a scheme.
Yeah. And people are coming out and saying like, this is this, I guess there's like this investigative reporter who's been basically covering Trump for a while. He just said this is like absolutely brazen tax fraud. Okay.
So when you're president, right? Don't you earn some kind of salary?
Yes.
So already we know that's got to be fraud, girl.
Well, it has to be because you're right. Because
like you have to earn because again, if you're like, let's say you're a business owner, you could technically not pay yourself an income, right? If you own a corporation, you could just not pay yourself an income and then somehow like I don't know maybe or like a very low income and then not pay taxes. But when you're president.
Yeah.
You get a salary.
You do get a salary. This is such bullshit. It also showed the tax law that Trump signed in late 2017 when he was in office opened up new opportunities for him.
Oh, God. If he does not get arrested.
I know. And opportunities for him. It's just bad. That's just like
literal corruption. I know corruption is like literally legal in the U.S., but this is just so blatant.
Yeah.
And now this is your president. Come on.
I know. And so Trump has actually like commented. So apparently he released a video.
What did he say?
He said, these tax returns contain... I can't do it. It's
Trump
been so
is hard
long.
to do.
It is. You used to do a really good one.
Did I?
I want to talk to you about, these tax returns. I can't. It goes like British. He said that they contain relatively little information and not information that almost anybody would understand. They're extremely complex. This I do agree with. Like tax returns are complicated.
Sure.
And he's like, this is radical Democrats' behavior.
Of course, blame the Democrats.
Always. He always blames the fucking Democrats.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's many problems with this. I think the thing that kind of pisses me off about this is number one, like it's coming out now. It sounds like they're going to probably do some kind of further investigation. They're going to look into it because this seems ridiculous, right?
I can guarantee you he probably won't go to prison.
No. It's white collar crime.
Oh God,
the white collar.
So crazy.
This is what's so fucked up in our society, guys. Like I just don't understand. Like, don't get me wrong. If you do any crime, you should be punished, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen time and time again, like you hear these huge business scandals where like people were siphoning all millions of dollars out of the business and, you know, running it to the ground and XYZ and blah, blah, blah. And they get like a slap on the wrist. Like
literally
the financial crisis of 2008.
Yeah.
I watched The Big Short recently.
Yes.
And I think
you watched it again?
Like maybe a couple of like 4 months ago or something. So not that recent.
Somewhat recent.
Somewhat, yeah. But I think if I remember correctly, they said in the 2008 financial crisis, which a lot of banks and, you know, investment firms and everything were doing some very bad behavior.
Yeah.
Really bad, which there becomes this like game because it's like, I was just doing what I'm supposed to do for my boss.
Right.
And it's like this game, like who's to blame? Like, is it me?
It was so complicated.
Exactly. Is it me as an employee or was I just following the boss's orders? The boss is just following his orders.
Right.
He's following he wants to grow shareholder return. So who's really to blame here? But
I'm sure they could have found incriminating evidence.
Oh, for sure. One person, I believe, went to prison for that.
Oh,
and the worst part is a lot of the like losses that were incurred, like a lot of the people that lost money were like people like that were going to retire. They lost their retirement funds and stuff. And yet all the people that walked away or had previously gotten like these huge bonuses from the bank and stuff, none of it was really clawed back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought the whole point of like this executive compensation is so high.
Yeah.
Part of the reason is because like if they do end up doing something bad, there's like a little bit of but they never come for their assets ever.
Nope.
And I'm like, if you're like a CEO of a company or CFO or whoever.
And it's also because the corporation is a separate entity.
Exactly. It's all a legal fucking loopholes.
Exactly.
So with Donald Trump, it's the same situation. It's like he has all these like shell companies and all this other shit going on. And I'm like, what really pisses me off is it's almost like our tax system where there's people like a Donald Trump, like whoever's doing tax evasion, but we're talking at a multi-million-dollar scale. Way more than like the everyday Joe. Because I'm sure there's everyday Joes that are doing smaller scale tax scams. But it's like this, like for example, in Canada, like if I file my tax return and I make a couple mistakes, the CRA is like, nope, you owe us $100. You better pay. You're going to get interest. And I'm like, how the fuck are these people literally getting away with murder?
It's because they have a team
of
people making sure that are well educated in this.
Yeah.
So they're making sure that there isn't going to be like, so again, maybe it's I mean, for this case, probably not legal.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got away with it, but there's a reason why he was trying to hide his files.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I mean, again, we in our society, we don't punish the rich.
No, it's never. And this is the crazy thing. It's like everyone aspires to be these like rich people.
Yeah.
And yet these rich people, not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them are doing these like
crazy
tax frauds.
things.
And even like a lot of these corporations, right? Like legal corporations are doing weird things where they're like siphoning money to offshore accounts where their revenue can be like captured in a different place. And it becomes this like mess where I'm like, again, I feel like this is an area where the tax law and tax like legislation is so far behind where it should be. Yeah. It needs to be fast forward because I feel like a lot of the tax laws and legislation that we have, and obviously I'm not a tax expert, but like I feel like a lot of it was drafted or kind of established back in the day when
it wasn't as easy
and it wasn't as multinational.
Yes, exactly.
Now you have these massive corporations. There is starting to be some crackdown. Like I know, like I remember in Europe there was like I can't remember which place it was, but there was a couple places that are like considered tax havens. Yeah. And they've started cracking down on companies siphoning money the way that they were doing, but it's just not happening fast enough. And it's like, why is it taking this long for this to happen? Yeah. Like they need to just like crack down on it. Like if you're an individual, like there shouldn't be these like tax havens or shelters, you know, like we were talking about that one in Puerto Rico. If you're like a foreign resident, you move to, or like Dubai is a perfect example. Yeah. You pay no income tax there, right? Uh-huh. So you could like move to Dubai. If you move all your assets to Dubai and like invest there and everything else, you pay no tax. Right. Or, you know what I mean?
How do they
like,
fund shit?
But this is what I mean. Like, it's like, there must be other tax somewhere. Like there must be, you know, but there's no income tax in Dubai.
How do they build infrastructure?
I don't know.
Interesting. Dubai's a weird place, man.
I know, but like these other places that exist as legal loopholes in terms of tax, there needs to be a serious crackdown.
I know.
Like, you know, remember there was that scandal in the UK where it was called the Panama Papers was released, and they found out that a lot of like prime ministers and stuff, like David Cameron, I think, was implicated. Like he had offshore assets in Panama, like to kind of avoid tax stuff. And I'm like, again.
But you know they're not going to be cracking down as much as
because the people that are making the legislation are doing the same thing.
Are the rich people.
Exactly. That's what's the problem though. It's like nothing's going to happen with Donald Trump. It's just like people are like, oh my God, he only paid $750 in tax, which is such bullshit because I paid way more than that.
Like per month, bitch.
I know.
What the fuck, dude?
I pay more than that per month.
Like literally.
Yeah. And we're paying our fucking tax obligation. This is why though people get pissed off because the middle class is the ones that like are paying most of the
most, right? Yeah. If you're really poor, you don't have money to pay tax.
Exactly. Or you get a lot of like tax breaks.
Exactly.
As well.
And then if you're super fucking rich, you have people to help
to manage
you evade
and
tax.
siphon your fucking money all
and then the middle class pays for all the fucking tax.
We pay all of our bills, we pay all of our fucking shit, and like and then the government chases us for like $50.
Oh my, legit though.
They'll be like, oh,
but you were late on your payment. That's gonna be another $200 in interest.
And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? There's
know.
corporations that are evading millions of dollars of tax. Wouldn't it be more cost beneficial to go after them?
God. In a world that makes sense, Daniel. In a world that makes fucking sense.
But anyway, so c'est la vie. Let's keep an eye on the Donald Trump thing, guys. Let's see what happens. Dude is how old? Is he like 90 yet? Jesus, he's old as fuck.
Okay. Ooh,
this is a bit of a random one.
Okay, random story. We have how working from home affects household gender roles based on a new study. So, I mean, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
how is it affecting household gender roles, Daniel?
So a new peer-reviewed study.
Okay.
Yep. Published. I'm not going to go into all that detail, but basically among dual earning couples, both men and women completed more family-related tasks when working from home.
Interesting.
However,
of course there's however.
When wives work from home, husbands performed less housework. This was not the case for wives when their husbands work from home.
I mean, in other news, the Pope is Catholic.
But this is true. This is true.
So basically, okay, let me reread that. Both men and women completed more family-related tasks when working from home. Again, in other news, water is wet. However, when wives worked from home, husbands performed less housework. Again, surprise, surprise.
There's a bear shit in the woods. Yeah, this is actually kind of like a non-story. It's just like, hey, people are working from home. They're doing more tasks.
It's still good to talk about it and show the difference between, how much more women do. And how our gender roles haven't completely, how it's still there without us even realizing.
It's like a subconscious bias. It's like there's just this assumption like, hey, if you're in a couple with a woman, she does a lot of the cleaning.
Yes.
She does a lot, like XYZ. And then on top of this, you have these guys. And like the thing is, I think there's this we're in a really interesting time because obviously a lot of women are like working now.
Most women are working.
Exactly. And they're like, fuck that. I'm not doing all the cleaning anymore.
Yes.
And then that's where you have this like buildup of these Andrew Tate characters.
I think so.
Who are rebelling against this because they're thinking of their like parents' generation.
Yes.
Where their mom did everything and their dad did nothing. And they're kind of like, I want to live like my dad did.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, that was a different time.
Exactly.
We're in the 21st century now.
Exactly.
Is it 21st century or 22nd? I don't even know at this point, guys.
21st century?
It's one of them. Yeah, 21st century. We're in the 21st century.
Because it's basically, it's 2000. Once we get to like, now I'm confused.
Once we get to 2100, we'll be in the
22nd. So because 21st, it's already gone through to.
Right. Yeah. So
it's confusing.
It is because it's like backwards. But anyway, but like it's just like the rise of these freaking like these misogynists is they were saying, like I remember reading some stuff about Andrew Tate and stuff, and they're saying part of the reason why this guy is gaining such popular appeal between young men is because young men are like, young heterosexual males are heterosexual. One, they're hit with this. Women's standards when it comes to dating have gone substantially up, right?
As in we started having some.
Exactly. Yeah. There's now that. And then on top of that, now that you have both parties working, the expectation is that equal share in the housework. Yes. And men are
not even equal. I feel like women don't even expect equal anymore.
Yeah.
Like they just expect a little more.
Yeah. And it's like, and the guys are like freaking out because they're like, oh my God, I have to do cleaning. I have to
be more than the bare minimum.
Yeah. I have to do more than just going to work.
Yeah.
And just you know.
I think it's so many different, honestly, like there should be more cultural studies on this whole like rise of, the Andrew Tates of the world. And because I think there's so many elements, right? It's like, number one, we talked about like male mental health. I think that is a factor.
Yeah.
And the fact that we constantly perpetuate, even now, that men can't have emotions and
they shouldn't cry. Boys don't cry.
Exactly. And then we still think a tough guy is like attractive or whatever, you know? So a guy like Andrew Tate, who appears to be tough, comes along, and then guys think, oh, and he has a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. So they think,
surrounded by beautiful women all the time.
Exactly. So we need to follow this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a lot of reasons, but yes, I think like a lot of it is like this, because women are now finally rebelling. Yeah. And we're not even rebelling. We're literally just being like, can we just be equal, please? Yeah. And
I have to work too. Like, okay, you know what? You want to make enough money for both of us?
Exactly.
I will clean the house then.
Yeah.
And you will pay me a salary as if I'm working.
Or you will earn, the same amount that we would earn if we both worked.
Exactly.
And you have to pay for everything I do then.
Exactly.
Bitch. Yeah. Anyway, so then I think we've talked about it before, where it's like with women, because we were, suppressed for so long, or like told not to work or whatever. So I think a lot of times, like a lot of women are maybe overcompensating, or not overcompensating, but like we're working hard. We've worked hard to, get educated, to start, doing a lot. So we've improved a lot in those ways.
And even in the workplace.
Yes.
There has been, I don't know, I don't have a study in front of me, but I'm like I'm sure I've seen studies where it says women on average, they have to work harder in the workplace to prove themselves and get to a same position as a man. And even when they do like a certain position, they get paid less.
Exactly. So we have to like work really hard,
constantly like prove yourself.
Exactly.
It's like with guys, it's like you'll get hired. This is a perfect example. Yeah. So let's say me and you were both interviewing for a job. Yeah. They'll be like, okay, let's just say that we both got hired, but they'll be like, Daniel, we're going to pay you X, Y, Z. Like, let's say they're like, we're going to hire you at 150K. Yeah. You know what? You show so much potential. Yeah. You have X, Y, Z. And then even if you have the same experience as me, like, Rose, we're going to start you at like 100. Right. Because we want to see how you're going to actually do in the role. Right. You got to prove yourself.
You think it's like that?
I 100% I do.
God damn.
Yeah.
Well, it probably is.
I feel like it's less so. It's getting better. But
I think
it's
there's also a lot of biases that we don't even realize.
Oh, 100%.
And also the way that women, because again, we weren't raised by, we're still raised by, mothers and fathers that grew up in the times when women didn't really work. Yeah. And so we have different expectations. We put different expectations on boys and girls. Yeah. And girls aren't taught to like, fucking, be career driven and make lots of money, and we have to like, and whereas boys are constantly taught like you're the breadwinner. You gotta make lots of money. Yeah. Like money is the only thing that matters. Women are taught like looks are the only thing that matters. Yeah. So we're not taught to like necessarily bargain for more money or ask for more money. We're always like taught to like, just be more accepting of whatever's going on. Yeah. So it is very uncomfortable for me too, like ever asking for lots of money. Yeah. I was always very bad at like salary negotiations.
I'm still bad at it.
Yeah. Like it's not easy. I mean, you're a 16-year-old girl. So
I know this is why.
So I think that's also another factor.
But some people are so good at like, we have a friend that's really good at it.
Yes, I wish I was good.
Oh my god, and she like literally like is doing so amazing. Well. Yeah, and it's like, you know what, but
even then, I know that like in her work, we're talking about the same person. Yeah. In her workplace, I know that she knew about like male colleagues
making more
that
than her.
Make more money, that are younger, junior. That came they're more junior. Yeah. Which, oh my god,
but this is another fucked up thing with just on salaries aside and everything else with corporations. It's like it's quite interesting because like you might be at a job for a while and then they'll hire somebody new to like do a similar role. Right. And because it's an external hire, they might start higher than you. Yeah. Even though you've been loyal to the company, and they're not going to all of a sudden bump you up. Yeah. And then the weird thing is like, you might have to go somewhere else to get your salary bumped up. It's like,
it's so weird.
It's so fucking weird. Cause like in my perspective, if I owned my own company, right? Like if I had a successful, I don't know, consulting firm here in Calgary, right? Let's say I hired some people. They were freaking amazing people, great staff, everything else. Like, I feel like my perspective, because I've grown up in this era, I would want to reward that. I'd be like, I want this person to stay here because they're such a good worker. Like, because also that's rare to find these days. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to, where I can, as much as I can. Yeah. And if somebody new comes in and they're starting in a similar role and stuff, I'm not necessarily going to try to like, you know.
But it's such a game though, because nobody knows what anybody is making.
But this is why there is advocacy or for transparency. Like to kind of have like a blanket, because you know, for senior execs, you can Google any senior exec of a public company.
Right.
You know their salary, you know their compensation, you know everything.
Right.
Why is that not for everybody?
And also, it'd be nice to see the difference between men and women.
Yeah, could you?
That would be so fucking interesting.
Could you imagine though, guys? I honestly want to put this out here. Could you imagine if all of a sudden that became a requirement that everybody's salary had to be public on like a job board, or not job board, but like in your internal directory?
Yeah.
And you found out if you were like the hardest worker in your team and you were paid the least out of everybody. And somebody that's like a huge slacker. It happens
all the time.
Oh yeah. Somebody that's a huge slacker is on like, you know, 40K more than you. And you do shit for them.
Oh my God. I was so fucking
I would fucking lose my shit. But
I don't know why it's just like not like.
But like, what is, I guess my question would be, what is the negative of doing that?
Of showing the salary?
Of being transparent.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I guess it's because like when you're trying to hire somebody, and I don't know, like I guess when you're trying to hire somebody and you're, let's say you're trying to headhunt or whatever, and you think this guy's going to be really good, and you think he's worth a certain amount, and he got paid a certain amount at a certain company. So the only way to get him is to pay like, I don't know, 100K. Whereas like all your other employees make 80K. So then you get him for 100K. And now if everybody finds out that he's on 100K, they're going to either want 100K or they're going to want to leave. Yeah. So that would be the negative for the employer.
It's only for the employer though.
Right, but then
because for the employee, I mean, there's negative for the employees because in a sense that like it would piss you off if you would be demotivated.
Well, the thing is, unless every employer decides to be there's a law that says every employer has to be transparent. No one's going to be transparent.
Of course not, because I think it's actually in the employer's best interest to not be transparent. Of course, because absolutely. At the end of the day, like they could say everything that they want and spin this whole narrative and everything. But at the end of the day, if there's only one way to get this amazing consultant you have to pay them 20K more than everyone else, there's a couple ways you can do it. Like you could maybe create a different position for them. So that's why it's a little bit more. Right. Or why are you paying everyone else 80K if the market rate's 100? Like, yeah, maybe you should bump your salaries up. You know what I mean? Like there's different ways to cut it. And I think it also helps for your own personal career aspirations and growth, because you can say, obviously it's not all based on salary, but if you're like, hey, I kind of want to be driven towards this area of the business, and you get an idea of what you could make in that area. Right. But then also it might detract from other areas of the business where it's a lower paid salary and people might not want to go there. But
yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what do you guys think? I'm not sure about the transparency.
I feel
of course,
like
as the employee, I think it would be beneficial. Yeah. I mean, depending. Yeah. Like if you're on a shit ton of money and you think you're not deserving, then it might not be beneficial.
The funny thing is though, people that are on shit tons of money, no matter what,
they think they're deserving.
Everybody thinks they're deserving, guys. Yeah. There was actually, I'm not going to talk too much about it. Well, at a previous firm that I was at, there was an individual on our team who was like one of the laziest people I've ever met in my life, right? Like so effing lazy. Yeah. And this person, I'm not even kidding you, they were like delusional. Like they thought that they were like the best thing. Shit. Yeah. Yeah. It was shocking. We would have like our team meets and stuff. Sure. And like the whole team would like all get together. And
was it a man?
Yes.
Of course.
We'd all go for drinks and stuff. And I remember thinking, I was like, I have not met somebody that is so fucking delusional. Like literally even my boss was like, this guy, like I don't know what we're going to do with him. I'm like, fire him. Yeah. He's incompetent.
What the fuck? You're the boss, bitch.
I know. I was like,
if he's that incompetent, like not just delusional, but incompetent.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he was 100% incompetent. Like he could do basic things, but like overall,
everyone can do basic things.
Exactly. Overall, it was like, honestly, some of the conversations I had, and he was much older too. Yeah. Some of the conversations I had with him, I wasn't like newer to working in finance, but like I was working, you know, and I was just like, how are we having this conversation? Right. Like, who are you? Yeah. Like, why are you so fucking delusional? Maybe I'm delusional too, guys. Who knows at this point? Because you know, the sad thing is if you're delusional, you don't know it.
Well, you know what? Sometimes being delusional is good because then you can just ask for more money or like.
Yeah, you can just be in your own world, you know?
Exactly. Like, you're in your own world. Yeah. Sometimes I wish I was delusional. Do you think I'm delusional?
I'm not going to answer that one, guys. Rose is setting me up for failure.
So anyways, I mean, interesting. Guys, what do you guys think about the whole... Should salaries be fully transparent?
Like fully. Like just across the board, every single job, every single role.
I feel like that would cause so much conflict though.
But think about it. Some industries it is transparent.
So In which industries though?
Like,
Very, very little.
Like service industries, for example,
But
right?
this is why I think business jobs, like 9-to-5 jobs, like it's like 80% bullshit.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like let's say you're a server, you're probably making minimum wage plus tips.
Yep.
That's the expectation. You're working at a cafe, you make minimum wage plus tips, and then if you're a manager, you make a few dollars more.
Exactly. And even for like grocery stores, like so I used to work, my very first job was at a grocery store, guys.
Yeah.
And the grocery store, at least at the time, I don't know if it's changed now, but they had a structure.
Right.
So it was like, okay, you start at like $7 an hour. After you've worked at the company for like 1,000 hours or something, you move to the next and you're on bands. So there's like different bands.
Right.
So you always know where you are.
Right.
And you always know, okay, if someone's a cashier, for example, the highest they can make is X, the lowest they can make is X, depending on how long they've been there. And I'm not saying that that's what needs to happen everywhere, but
that's how
that's the level of transparency.
Right.
Like when you work in those industries, you basically know what everyone's making.
But I think it's also because, I mean, I don't know, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think it's like with these businessy jobs, 9-to-5, again, maybe I'm not playing devil's advocate. Maybe it's just all bullshit.
Yeah.
But because they're very like subjective and very much, it's not like, you know, if you're a cashier, you fucking, you know, you do the cashier thing, you know, if you're stocking things. Like the job is, I don't want to say it's basic. It's an important job.
It is an important job.
But it is, you know,
it's very
not,
like monotonous. Not monotonous.
It's like, you know what you have to do. There you go. It's very task based.
It's like you have specific
it's like
tasks.
data entry, you know, stuff like this.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're like a fucking manager of a multinational corporation.
Yeah.
It's all very, I mean, and again, it's half the shit they do is bullshit. Let's be fucking honest.
So true.
Even people that work at these jobs probably think it's fucking bullshit.
My favorite is like, honestly, when you talk about these corporations, there's a couple of really big bullshits, guys, and people might get mad at me.
What is it?
Number one, I feel like, and companies do this all the time. Some new senior director will come in.
Yeah.
And they'll all of a sudden have all these great ideas. And they'll want to do a reorganization of the whole business. And you spend all this time fucking reorganizing and and
then they leave.
And then they leave. And then a new person comes in and they're like, actually, I think we should do things this way. Let's just rechange all of our process. And there's so much like work that's involved for nothing. Half the time.
Again, this is what I'm saying. I feel like it's like all these companies.
Yeah. Or
they'll just try to fill their fucking time.
Yeah, or they'll come up with like a strategy for the year. You know,
and
this is our strategy.
So bullshit. Like honestly, corporate shit is such bullshit sometimes. Like when I used to work at a corporate, I'm like, is this the biggest waste of fucking time I've ever seen?
Yeah.
Like they'll have these like fucking hour-long ass meetings.
Yeah.
And people like half the meeting, you're just like, oh, so like, how was your holiday? Oh, it was really good. You know, just like, you know, had some wine with family. Oh, yeah, that sounds so nice. Oh, we have so much to catch up on. It's like, oh, God, like, get to the goddamn fucking point.
Get to the point. Get your shit together.
Like, seriously, it's so... And then, yeah, they'll have all these, like, initiatives and I don't want to name names, but like sometimes as doing what I do as an influencer, I work with brands, right?
Yeah.
So generally I don't like to work with like really big companies sometimes. Not always. I've worked with some big companies that are really good.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like they don't understand how like social media works because they're, you know, just like a big corporation.
They're used to corporate
so
stuff.
A lot of stuff they do is like just such corporate fluff.
Yeah.
Like they'll give these like gigantic, you know, PDF files with all this stuff. I'm like, just give me the fucking talking points. Like, let me know what you want me to say.
Yeah.
And let me try the product.
Well, it's because that's someone's job, Rose, and they need to make sure
they fill their 40 hours a fucking week.
Exactly.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I used to fucking do.
Yeah.
Like, type out a bunch of fluff, make stupid ass fucking presentations.
Yeah.
Print out so much fucking paper wastage.
Yeah. Actually, our business is pretty good at that.
Okay,
like,
that's good. Maybe it's gotten
very
better.
much.
Okay, because
yeah.
like we would print out these fucking giant presentations and then like hand it to like whoever is at the goddamn fucking meeting, and then like these people are not reading these fucking presentations.
I know.
That shit is going into the paper shredder.
Oh, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Is like I would like pull stuff together at a different firm that I was working at that I am now. And I'll pull stuff together for like the exec team or, you know, like randomly. I remember one of the companies I worked at in London, I like did this like so much work for this, this company and for their exec team. And I'm like, I swear to God. And they had asked me to do this, right? They're like, please, we need like this, we need these numbers. Cause I was the best person at Salesforce. Yeah. So I could like pull all this data and like manipulate it and do all this shit for them, put it into graphs. It was a lot of work. Like
the graphs. Oh, corporations love graphs.
Oh my God, they love it. I did all this work and I don't even think they used it.
That's the thing.
I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I spent all this time doing this. I'm like, were
you doing sales or like
I worked in the sales side. Yeah.
Oh, it's honestly.
It was just like so outrageous. And then like, oh God, yeah. Anyway,
like corporate reports and shit. I'm just like, dude,
we could go on for hours.
ain't
about this,
nobody
guys.
fucking reading this shit.
Oh.
Let us know if you guys want us to complain about corporations more.
Yeah.
As Daniel still works for.
Oh God.
Maybe we just do a Patreon exclusive on this.
Yeah, I think we need to do a Patreon exclusive.
If you guys want the true tea.
Oh God damn.
And on that positive note.
Yeah, on that positive note, guys, thank you so much for tuning into our first episode of 2023.
Guys,
goddamn.
tell your friends, tell your family.
Wait.
We didn't even talk about like what we're gonna do for New Year's, you know. But actually, we talked about you because I was asking questions, unlike some people.
That's fine. We don't have to talk about you, right? Yeah, tell your friends, tell your family. If you are watching this video on YouTube, guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Show us some love down under in the comment section. Down under.
Goddamn.
Also, if you're not already, guys, check out our Patreon. Patreon.com. Did we forget to do
our
the
Patreon shout out?
Oh my God.
You know what? Let's do it next week.
Yeah. Okay. For our
because
our
it's
newest,
not fair. We need to do it in the beginning.
We do. Yeah. For our newest Patreon, we will do a shout out next week. We're sorry. We got too into this and too distracted, but we will be shouting out your name next week. So don't you even worry. Just we'll definitely do that. But yeah, so join Patreon, patreon.com/the SaVeg podcast. You get a shout out at the beginning of the episode. And also you get access to all of our exclusive episodes. We do a monthly exclusive content on there. Also there's like, you can chat with us. There's like a little message board, all kinds of things in there. And it starts as low as $3 a month. So check that out. Also, if you're if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, hit that follow button and then you'll get updated as soon as there's a new episode.
Yeah. Guys, happy 2023. Hope you're having a wonderful start to the new year.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.